Hello everybody, my name is Kevin Rose. I'm here today to talk to you about implementing behavioral-based safety in the general industry. Behavioral-based safety basically is taking a positive, proactive approach towards safety. The benefits of behavioral-based safety in general industry. Behavioral-based safety is an application of science and behavior changes in real-world problems. The focus on what people do, analyze why they do it, and then apply it to a research supported in intervention strategies to improve what people do. Let's start with the history of behavioral-based safety. Originated with the work of Herbert William Henrich in the 1930s. Henrich, who worked for Travelers Insurance Company, reviewed thousands of accident reports completed by supervisors. From supervisors drew conclusions that most accidents, illnesses, and injuries in the workplace are directly attributed to man's failure or unsafe actions of workers. Why use behavioral-based safety? Well, since 1984, behavioral-based safety has proven to be an effective tool in reducing the workplace accidents. While in the business climate has changed dramatically since 1984, behavioral-based safety has changed a little. Even a proven technology with documented results eventually must evolve and become obsolete. Behavioral-based safety results shown in 1996, 162 completed surveys were turned in to a noted institute, mailed in or faxed for study. And an appreciation for behavioral-based safety approach was shown by 80% of the respondents responding to yes to the question, do you believe behavioral-based safety is a valuable approach for reducing at-risk behaviors and other activities? Only 3% responded with no. This question, the rest said they didn't know. In addition, more respondents responded to 48% then yes, 34% to the question. Do you think a safety program should be put more direct focus on attitudes than other behaviors? This is an interesting. This is interesting because it not only shows preference for a behavioral-based safety approach. Um, it reflects a shift from the traditional education approach to injury prevention. One of the main things in behavioral-based safety is employee involvement. It's critical for a steering team to be formed to design an effective data management and problem-solving technique. In conjunction with their behavioral-based safety efforts, the data flow to the steering team and helps the team remove barriers to safety and change the influence that could tempt workers to take risk. Additionally, the ability to isolate problems areas increase the ability to focus on corrective effort and reducing wasted resources. The observations are mostly differently and a great tool for beginning the creation of a culture of safety, awareness, and development of personal safety focus. However, without a good behavioral-based safety data management strategy, the process may not be substantial. One of the things you get out of behavioral-based safety as well is when you implement behavioral-based safety, you also face negative feedback. Employees get blamed. One of the biggest topics that always comes up when you implement behavioral-based safety. To talk about the behavior sounds like threatening to many people, as in, let's talk about your behavior last night, or but the names of the individuals observed in the behavioral-based safety coaching process are never recorded. Behaviors of work groups are examined to identify environmental or system factors that influence behaviors. Then we change those factors to improve behaviors. There's also, we got to face some things like pushback from management. I mean, if you implement behavior-based safety with this idea in mind, you are destined for failure. Even as an observation and feedback process among work teams, will fail without proper management support. So you have to have management support backing your behavioral-based safety process. And the many other applications of behavioral-based safety require managers to be actively involved. That means having them involved doing observations, or going out on the floor, asking if they can do observation. Some people are receptive to this, and some are not receptive to it. What management measure gets done, and what management recognizes and rewards get done well. And one of the things in behavioral-based safety as well is you have to take a positive, proactive approach. This promotes the power of positive reinforcement to increase frequency of safe choices and practices, trains observers to use constructive feedback as consequences to drive safe behaviors, or on a permanent basis as well. Encourages employee involvement with the process to maximize commitment. This performance-based safety process is compatible with similar quality processes, and it initiates in the drive and continuous improvement as well. So in conclusion, when we use behavioral-based safety in implementing such process to determine the optimal planning and implementation strategy to create the most effective safe behavior management process for general industry specific needs. A typical approach to this implementation is following: planning a safe workplace, establishing executive sponsorship, customize an action plan with targeted dates, identify key sources, areas for behavior process interventions, determine culture related perceptions and readiness, skills training for a safer workplace. Um, Train safe behavior performance teams are one of the critical elements as well. Provide teams with tools for immediate application. Conduct orientation sessions with employees. Assign accountabilities to encourage process continuance. Implementation and measurement. Support for observation data tracking and trending. Utilize feedback technique for continuing improvement. Offer team coaching, guidance, and motivational support. Provide fidelity-based comparisons for upstream and downstream data. This is what it takes in order to actually implement and show some sustainability with your behavioral-based safety process. And from 22 years of experience in seeing an industry that had a TCIR, total case incident rate, better than 15, and in 3 months, this TCIR rate dropped down to less than 8, and within 3 years, it turned around and dropped to a 0.59, which is almost at zero, and almost taking us to VPP status. So today, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to my speech here today, and I'd like to, if anybody has any questions, any comments or criticism, be sure to take your feedback after we close out the speech. So thank you very much.